Do your best to present yourself to God as one approved, a worker who has no need to be ashamed, rightly handling the word of truth. Something is about to change. I want you to stop for a moment and really take this in, because what I am about to share with you matters more than you might realize right now. You didn't find this message by accident. I know that might sound like something people say, but think about it for a second. You were scrolling through countless pieces of content, surrounded by 1,000 different distractions, and something made you stop here. Something pulled your attention to these words. That wasn't random. That wasn't just curiosity. Deep down, something in your spirit recognized that this moment was meant for you. And I believe with everything in me that God led you here because He has something He wants you to hear today. So please, don't rush through this. Don't skim it. Read every word, because this is for you. I want you to know something that maybe nobody has told you recently. God has been watching you. Not in a distant, detached way, not from far off, uninvolved and unaware. He has been right there with you, up close, through every single thing you have walked through. He saw those nights when you couldn't sleep, the ones where it was 2 or 3, 0 inches the morning and your mind just wouldn't quiet down. The nights you stared at the ceiling, wrestling with worry, replaying painful memories, carrying weights that felt too heavy for one person to bear. He was there in those moments, every single one of them. He saw the tears you cried when no one else was in the room, the private tears, the ones you didn't let people see because you didn't want to seem weak or broken. He counted every one of them. He saw you press through hard days with a smile on your face while you were quietly falling apart on the inside. He saw you show up, keep going, keep functioning, even when you were running on empty and had nothing left to give. He heard every prayer you whispered, even the ones that felt too small to matter, even the ones that came out broken and incomplete because you didn't have the words, even the ones you prayed when you weren't sure anyone was listening. He heard them all. Not one prayer left your lips and disappeared into silence. Every single word reached heaven. And in those moments when the loneliness felt absolutely crushing, when you felt invisible, overlooked, like you didn't matter to anyone, He was there, closer than you knew, closer than you felt. He was holding you even when you couldn't feel His hands. I need you to let this truth sink deep into your heart today. You are not forgotten. You have never been forgotten. Not for one single moment of your life. God knew your name before you were born, before your parents chose it, before the world ever heard it, before you took your first breath. He already knew you. He called you by name before creation itself existed, and that name is written on His hands. You are carved into His heart. You are constantly on His mind. Every morning when the sun comes up, He thinks of you. Every evening when the day winds down, His eyes are on you. While you sleep, He watches over you. While you work and push through your days, He is making a way for you. While you struggle and fight through hard seasons, He is fighting alongside you. You are not an afterthought in God's story. You are not a background character. You are someone He sees, someone He loves, someone He has never once stopped thinking about. I know life has a way of making you feel the opposite of that. I know the silence can feel like abandonment. I know unanswered prayers can start to feel like He isn't there. But feelings aren't always the truth. The truth is that God has never left you, and He is not about to start now. Now I want to talk about something that is going to reframe everything you have been going through. Because if you've been wondering why life has felt so difficult, why breakthroughs seem to take so long, why doors seem to close right when you get close, why the people you trusted most have been the ones to hurt you the most, there is a reason for all of it, and it's not what you might think. The enemy has not been fighting you because you are weak. He has been fighting you because you are dangerous. He has not been opposing you because you are insignificant. He has been opposing you because He knows exactly what is inside you. He knows the calling God placed on your life. He knows the anointing that rests on you. He knows that when you fully step into your God-given identity and purpose, things are going to change in a very big way, not just for you, but for everyone around you. That is why He has worked so hard to discourage you. That is why He has used people closest to you, people you loved and trusted, to wound you and make you feel worthless. That is why every time you got close to a breakthrough, something seemed to go wrong. That is why He has whispered lies into your mind, telling you that you're too far gone, too broken, too tired, too late. He wanted you to quit. He needed you to give up. Because He is terrified of what happens when you don't. Every setback you have experienced was not just bad luck. Every betrayal, every disappointment, every door that closed in your face, none of it was meaningless. It was targeted. It was strategic. The enemy attacked you specifically because he knows your worth, and he was hoping you would forget it. But here is the part I really need you to hear, because this is where everything changes. His time is running out. The season that has felt so long and so heavy is coming to an end. God is not ignoring what you have been through. He has not forgotten the prayers you have prayed, or the tears you have cried, or the faith you have held on to, even when it was hanging by a thread. He has been working behind the scenes in ways you couldn't see, preparing things you didn't know were being prepared, opening doors you didn't know existed, and positioning you for something that is going to be worth every hard day you endured to get there. Everything the enemy meant to use against you, every wound, every scar, every painful chapter, God is going to turn it around. What was designed to destroy you is going to become part of your testimony. What was meant to silence you is going to become the very thing that gives your voice power. What broke you is going to become the thing that helps you reach people who are broken just like you were. Nothing has been wasted. Not one tear, not one sleepless night, not one prayer, not one moment of pain. God is a redeemer, and He is redeeming all of it. This moment is yours. So I want to leave you with this. You are seen, you are known, you are deeply and unconditionally loved. The God who spoke the universe into existence has not taken His eyes off you for even a second. He brought you to this message today because He wanted to remind you of that. Don't give up. Don't walk away from your faith. Don't let the enemy convince you that your best days are behind you, because they are not. Your breakthrough is not a distant dream. It is closer than you think, and God is already working on everything you've been praying for. Hold on. Keep believing. Your moment is coming. If our messages have blessed or encouraged you, please consider supporting us so we can keep spreading God's love and light to more hearts. You'll find the Ko-fi support link pinned below. I want to start by asking you to do something simple. Just slow down for a moment. Take a breath, because what I am about to share with you is not something to rush through. It's something to sit with, to let sink in, and to carry with you as you move through the days ahead. God is up to something in your life. I genuinely believe that, and I want to walk you through what I sense He is doing, what to watch for, and how to position yourself to receive everything He has prepared for you. In the next several days, I want you to pay close attention to what shows up around you. It might be something small, a phone call from someone you haven't heard from in a while, an email that arrives at just the right time, a conversation that takes an unexpected turn, or an opportunity that seems to come out of nowhere. Whatever form it takes, don't dismiss it. Don't scroll past it. Don't file it away as a coincidence and move on. That small moment could be the first indicator that God is setting something in motion. The beginning of a breakthrough doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it starts as a whisper, a nudge, a single door cracking open just slightly. The key is to pay attention so you don't miss it when it comes. As the days continue to unfold, things are going to start feeling less random and more intentional. You'll notice that certain words keep coming up in conversations. People around you might start saying things that directly address what you've been privately praying about, without even knowing it. Situations that have been stuck for a long time will start showing signs of movement. Opportunities that seemed out of reach will begin feeling accessible. This is God confirming that He is working behind the scenes, even in the moments when everything looked completely still. Don't dismiss these confirmations as a coincidence. Receive them as exactly what they are, God's way of letting you know that your prayers have been heard and that He is actively responding to them. Let's talk about something very practical: your finances. I know that for many people reading this, money is one of the most constant sources of stress and anxiety. The bills, the unexpected expenses, the feeling of never quite having enough, those pressures are real, and God sees every single one of them. I want to encourage you today with this: provision is coming. And I mean that in the most practical sense possible. Not just a vague spiritual sense of abundance, but actual, tangible, real-world provision that meets your real-world needs. Now, here's the thing about how God provides. He rarely does it in the way we expect. We tend to think about provision in very limited terms, like a raise at work or a windfall of some kind. But God's creativity when it comes to blessing His people is far beyond what we can imagine. The provision He sends might come through a promotion you weren't even being considered for. It might arrive through a business idea or opportunity that lands in your path when you weren't looking for it. It might show up through favor with someone who has the ability to open a door you couldn't open yourself. It might come through a debt being canceled, a settlement being resolved, or an investment paying off in ways you had long since forgotten about. The point is this: stay open. Don't put limitations on how God can move on your behalf. He is not restricted by your current circumstances or by what seems logical from where you are standing. Write down today's date if you want to. Mark this moment as the day you began to believe again for your financial breakthrough, and then watch how God moves in the weeks and months ahead. Beyond finances, I want to talk about relationships, specifically the new connections that are about to enter your life. One of the ways God advances people into their next season is through other people. He sends the right individual at the right time, and that one relationship changes the entire trajectory of your story. In the coming weeks, pay close attention to who crosses your path. Be present in conversations. Be open to introductions. Don't be so buried in your phone or your routine that you miss a divine appointment happening right in front of you. Some of the most significant relationships in your life are not going to announce themselves with fanfare. They're going to show up looking like ordinary moments, a casual introduction, a shared experience, a chance encounter that lingers longer than expected. God is positioning people around you who carry something you need for where you are going. Some of them are people who have already walked the path you are about to walk and can help you avoid the mistakes they made. Some of them share your vision and your values and are meant to walk alongside you, not ahead of you or behind you, but with you. Some of them simply carry an encouragement that is going to arrive at precisely the moment you need it most. Receive these connections with gratitude. Don't be dismissive of new people just because they arrive in unexpected ways. And don't be so self-sufficient that you fail to recognize when God is trying to help you through someone else. I also want to speak directly to those of you who are dealing with physical health challenges. Maybe you've been living with a condition for so long that you've started to accept it as just a permanent part of your life. Maybe you've been through round after round of tests and appointments and still don't have clear answers. Maybe the chronic pain or the persistent fatigue or the diagnosis you received has started to chip away at your hope. I want you to bring that situation back to God in prayer today. Not a defeated, going through the motions kind of prayer, but a genuine, expectant, faith-filled prayer. God is still a healer. His power has not diminished. His willingness to heal has not changed. He sees your body. He knows exactly what is happening, and He is more than able to do what medicine cannot. I'm not suggesting you stop seeking medical care or ignore your doctors. Wisdom and faith work together, not against each other. But alongside whatever medical treatment you are pursuing, keep praying, keep believing, keep placing your body in God's hands and trusting that He is doing something even when you can't feel it. Healing is possible for you. Don't give up on that. Some of you are carrying deep wounds from broken relationships, a friendship that ended painfully, a family member you haven't spoken to in years, someone you loved and trusted who walked away or hurt you in ways you are still recovering from. The grief of those losses is real, and I don't want to minimize how much those broken connections have cost you. But I want to offer you some hope today. Restoration is not always impossible, even when it feels that way. God can soften the hardest of hearts. He can create the conditions for genuine apology and reconciliation in situations where you have completely given up. He can rebuild bridges that you were convinced were permanently destroyed. Now, I want to be honest with you, not every broken relationship is meant to be restored. Some relationships were unhealthy from the beginning, and God actually protects you by allowing them to end. You don't need to pursue reconciliation with everyone who has ever hurt you, especially in situations where returning to that relationship would cause you harm. But the relationships that genuinely belong in your life, the ones that were healthy and life-giving before they broke, those are worth praying over. Those are worth believing God for. Don't write off reconciliation before you've given God a chance to work. You might be surprised at what He can do in the heart of someone you've already counted out. Now, I want to get really practical with you for a moment, because this next part is important. Everything I've shared with you today, the provision, the connections, the healing, the restoration, none of it is meant to be received passively. God is not going to force any of these things on you. He opens doors, but you have to choose to walk through them. He prepares the path, but you have to take the steps. Faith is not just a feeling. It's not just believing something in your mind or agreeing with something in your heart. Real faith shows up in how you live and what you do. It means praying specifically and boldly about what you need, not just vague, generic prayers, but real, honest, detailed conversations with God about exactly what you are believing Him for. It means taking the practical steps you've been putting off, making that phone call, sending that application, having that difficult conversation, starting that thing you've been too afraid to begin. Don't wait for everything to be perfect before you move. Don't wait until all your doubts are resolved before you take a step. That's not how faith works. Faith moves forward in the presence of uncertainty. Faith acts before the outcome is guaranteed. Some of the greatest moments in the Bible happened because someone chose to take a step before they could see where it would lead. They moved in the direction of what God had promised and trusted Him to handle what they couldn't see. That's the invitation for you today. Stop waiting for conditions to be perfect. Stop waiting for fear to go away before you act. Take the step you know you need to take and trust God with what happens next. Before I close, I want to ask you to think about the people in your life for a moment. Right now, someone in your world is struggling in a way they haven't told anyone about. Someone is quietly losing hope. Someone is on the verge of making a decision out of desperation that they will later regret. Someone is wondering whether God still cares about them, whether their prayers are reaching anyone, whether things are ever going to get better. You have the ability to be the answer to that person's silent prayer today. Not by having all the answers or by saying the perfect thing, but simply by showing up and sharing a word of encouragement. Pass this message along to someone who needs it. Check in on the friend you've been meaning to call. Send a text to the family member who has been on your mind. Let someone know that they are not forgotten and that God is still working. Blessing others doesn't diminish what God wants to do in your own life. If anything, it opens you up to receive more. When you become a conduit of hope and encouragement to the people around you, something shifts in your own spirit. Generosity, with your time, your words, your presence, always comes back around. Let me wrap up with this. The days ahead of you matter. What happens in the coming weeks has the potential to be genuinely significant in your story. Stay alert, stay prayerful, stay expectant. Pay attention to the small signs and the quiet moments of confirmation that God is sending your way. Don't get so caught up in waiting for the big, dramatic breakthrough that you miss the quiet, steady, faithful work He is already doing. You are loved. You are seen. You are not forgotten. The things you have been believing for, the prayers you have been praying, the faith you have been holding on to through seasons that felt endless, none of that has been wasted. God has been working the whole time, even when it felt like silence. Your breakthrough is not a distant dream. It is real, it is close, and it belongs to you. Keep going, keep believing, keep showing up. The best is still ahead.